Hey, this is Chuck, and the story's called Canadian Karma. I had a close call just now. Thought I was out of instant coffee. I was going to have to go back out in the cold and the dark and drive to 7-Eleven. At any rate, uh, many moons ago, when you're old, everything happened many moons ago. I moved from Northern California to Southern Oregon. And I wound up playing guitar with a couple of fellas, Charlie and Dave. We had much fun as a bunch of drunk people with guitars can have, I suppose, at that age. Now, Dave was married to a girl who was a Canadian citizen. Her name was Tammy. I had a girlfriend named Sherry, and Charlie was freewheeling it. We played at parties and local bars and stuff. One day, we find out that Tammy, I can't remember why she had to go back to Canada. She was pregnant at the time. I assume, from what I can recall, she needed to get next to her family. And Dave was a good dude, but he drank a lot. I think I understand what she was doing. At any rate, we devised this plan where we're all going to go with Dave and Tammy to Canada and play in this bar that Dave keeps describing to us up there. Well, it sounded like a good idea to a bunch of drunk people at first. Then reality set in, and of course Charlie was the only fellow with a job, so he kind of ruled himself out of that action. But Dave and Tammy and Chuck and Sherry were delusional enough, I suppose, to think we could just hop on a train and go live in Canada. So we decided we're going to hop on a train and go live in Canada. But we had to get to Portland first and catch another train, I guess. And in the middle of the day, we get kicked out of the train at the Portland train station and go looking for something to eat. And we walking down the streets, none of these restaurants look like they're open. They're all boarded up. And I finally swung a door open to one place and looked in and went in, got something to eat, and we come out and had to wade through all kinds of humanity to get back to the train station by the time the other train was going. That was an experience in itself. So we get on the train and we start looking for the bar car. Yeah, didn't know they had one of those. Sounded good to me. So we take our guitars, me and Dave, and we head on down and just waltz in there pretty as you please and sit down and start playing original music. And I guess those people had been locked away on that train for too long because they were really digging it. And they were buying us these little bitty bottles of liquor. And, we were expert drinkers, so we did a lot of those little bottles, and my girlfriend thought they were just adorable. So she gets a box, and she's saving them all. She winds up with this shoebox full of these empty liquor bottles. And towards the end of the night, we go walking back to the car where we're going to have to spend the night with a bunch of other people all sprawled out all over the place. And she drops the box on a moving train. So it flies open, and the bottles hit the ground, and they're rolling the whole length and width of the car everywhere, and the little kids are jumping up that mom just got laid down, and they're going all Easter egg hunt, laughing at the drunk lady and her boyfriend, and they're bringing the little bottles they could find back to her to put back in the box. So anyway, we get all settled in, and they come over to loudspeakers and say the Canadian Royal Mounted Police's International Border Guards are coming on board to inspect everybody and everything. Uh-oh. Turns out old Chuck's got 3 joints of the killer green bud right in his front pocket. Now when I heard that, I think my knees started shaking a little bit, and I told my girlfriend, I gotta go to the bathroom. Now there's a little bit of a mystery here. I get to the bathroom, and I'm wanting to hide these doobies, but I can't remember where I got tape. I must have gotten tape from maybe taping the box shut or something, I don't know. But I go in the bathroom with these 3 joints and a piece of tape, and I'm looking around thinking maybe I'll be able to hide them behind the toilet or something. And I turn around and look at the counter, and there's a spring-loaded door that says trash. So I push down the door, and it closes itself back up, and look down the side, and I see there's a door to pull the garbage can out. And I'm thinking, maybe I can tape these up under that lid, and pretty slim chance anybody even changing the garbage over the next hour or so until we get going again. And so I tape them up under there and head back to the car thinking that I'll be able to retrieve them pretty quick. So I walk in, sit down, and in comes these fellas in like long manila-colored trench coats with black gloves and slick hairdos and sunglasses at night. And I'm like, damn, I'm glad I got rid of them doobies, Well, they pick us out. Now, I can't imagine why, after drinking ourselves silly in the bar car and then dumping beer, liquor bottles everywhere and carrying on. But they asked me how much money we have. So I show them how much money we have, and it was apparently over the limit of how much visitors could bring into the country. Some leftover thing from Vietnam, I guess, draft dodgers, as far as I can recall. At any rate, they decide they're going to detain me and my girlfriend and our box full of liquor bottles. Off the train we go, and away goes the train, and there goes my KGB. So they haul us into some kind of building that's in the middle of about, from what I can recall, I think they said it was a 200-yard wide area that isn't Canada and it isn't America. And they take us in there and scaring the hell out of us. And one of the border guards says, you're not going into Canada, and we don't necessarily have to let you back into America either. At that point, I couldn't care less about 3 doobies of smoke rolling down the tracks. Fortunately, they relented and let us back into the United States of America, and We wind up in a town called Bellingham, I think it was, Washington, along the border. And my pal Dave and his wife, because they're Canadian, she's a Canadian citizen and they're married, they're allowed to continue on their journey. And Sherry and I find ourselves in a restaurant where she's doubled over in pain from some abdominal malady. An ambulance is called, and we get to the hospital. Turns out she's suffering a tubal pregnancy. Bad. It's a bad thing. I don't know details, can't recall, but she was in the hospital for like 2 weeks. And my mom wired me up some money, and I got myself a hotel room, and Hotel 6. Hunkered down, realized I got money and a place to stay and nothing to smoke. So, early the next day, I'm getting a taxi to go back over to the hospital and find out the particulars about Sherry's condition. And I, as usual, am talking to the taxi driver like I've known the guy for years. And eventually I mentioned this turn of events that leaves me there with no smoke. And he turns around and says, you wouldn't be interested in a couple of grams of hash, would you? A couple of grams of hash, you say? Yeah, so things started looking a little brighter there. Get to the hospital, find out Sherry's going to live, but it's going to be a while. Go back to my hotel room, and I spend the next couple of weeks just lounging. It was good. Good little holiday. Sherry gets out of the hospital, and we wander back down to the train station. Gonna have to take the train back to Southern Oregon. By that time, I'm out of smoke, out of money, rolling out of the situation, kind of beat down and disappointed. Gonna be a long ride back to Medford. I tell Sherry, I'm gonna go in the bathroom car and take a look because, well, you just gotta, just gotta. I tell her I'll be back in a couple of minutes to see what I find. I go in that bathroom car, same kind of lid on the counter, same kind of door on the side. No way. I push that lid down, reach under there, and guess what I find? 3 doobies of the killer green bud, back from their jaunt to who knows where. Now, I like to think that they went ahead and went on into Canada maybe and took a little tour, see what that's all about, and then just magically made it all the way back to us 2 weeks later on a different train, going in a different direction. But by the time I opened the door and walked back into the car where my girlfriend was, I didn't have to say a thing. She looked at my eyes and she went, she knew I found them doobies, and boy, it was her turn at the bathroom. And we made it back to Oregon and carried on from there. But anyway, that's my Canadian karma story. And that's all the time we have for today, boys and girls. Goodbye and good luck. Boo-doo-ba-boom, doom-doom, boom-ba-doom, boom-boom. Hey, muff hubba wubba dooba with my girlfriend.